Hey fam, what's up, what's up, what's up? This is Robert Anton here, robertanton.com, coming to you with your no frills commentary from a singer. Yes sir, fam. So it is night 2 of X Factor Boot Camp, and they had another challenge tonight, and that was the head-to-head challenge, which sounds a whole lot and looks a whole lot like the battle rounds from The Voice to me. But hey, I ain't got nothing to say about that. I love the battle rounds, and I was kind of liking this, except for they didn't show enough of what happened. They were clipping and cutting and all that good stuff, so we didn't get to see a whole lot of how the battle actually went. Anyway, they had 60 acts remaining at the start of the night tonight, and they are going to cut it on down to the 24th by the end of the night, or so they said. But of course, it ended up that it's going to be the next episode when they're actually going to show what the cuts were. What they did tonight is they showed the actual competitions and stuff like that. I noticed that Tara Simon did make it through. Look back on my other commentary from yesterday, I said that I would be really surprised if she didn't make it through. The way she performed her song, she really tore into it. And they put Paige Thomas up against CeCe Frey again tonight, and of course they were the finale for the night. Yeah, and level 3 against Emblem, even though I don't think we saw that competition on this episode. To get into the competitions and who did what to who, we started out with Tara Simon versus Jennel Garcia. They did Landslide by Stevie. Next, this so I wrote it again about reminding me of the battle rounds. Jennel started out nice and sweet. She seemed a little nervous and unsure of herself, while Tara seemed more into the moment and confident, and Tara seems always to be confident. Simon said he doesn't know why they chose the song, and they didn't represent themselves well. Jennel said she felt out of her element, and Simon was saying she was like a scared little girl. And I guess because Tara actually is the one who decided on this song, and Jennel decided to go along with her and all that good stuff. But as always, Tara said that she felt like she did a good job, so that's all that mattered to her, and she did, to me, represented herself very well. Beatrice Miller versus Carly Rose Sonenclar. The little girls, oh my god, they did Pumped Up Kicks by Foster the People. Beatrice was working the stage while Carly was on top of her notes and riffs with a lot of attitude. Brittany said amazing. Simon said they both were very good. This was one of those short ones where I would have liked to see a whole lot more. But they both sounded good to me, and I don't know whether to call it a draw or not. I would naturally say, if I saw the whole thing, who won. But as far as vocals, Carly sounded great to me. She sounded like she did the best. David Correy went up against Vino and they are roommates, and they did What's Going On by Marvin Gaye. David had a little speech prepared before to give to the judges, which wasn't, and Simon was like, okay, so let's go on. You know, he kind of just like glossed over it, just kept going. It was not the move, okay? I don't think it was the move for him to say what he said. He was definitely bringing the heat in his vocal though, and Vino also wasn't sluggish. He was tearing into it. From what I saw, this was a very close competition while David got the last note in. But Vino probably messed up his lyrics. Even while I was listening, and I do this song, and I was like, I heard a little blip, but I wasn't sure if he had messed up the lyrics or if he just maybe stopped, like had like a glottal stop where he's like, you know, and just kept going. But it seems like he did mess up his lyrics because he was upset. He walked off the stage. He didn't want to really be consoled by anybody because he thought he did a really bad job, because obviously he messed up his words. And the judges didn't even seem to notice. They thought that he was great, and you know, they noticed that he thought that he did a bad job. So they ran through a few people like Sister C versus Lauren Jauregui, Arin Deming versus Brendan Hassan, Julia Bullock versus Ali Brook, Jeffrey Gutt. Yeah, I wrote Jeffrey Gutt versus who? Because I don't know who this guy was, so I don't think he's gonna be sticking around, but I don't know. I'm not gonna say that, but I didn't know who he was, and I don't know if I ever seen him before. Did I even get his audition? Okay, so whatever. I didn't even see them flash his name across the screen either, so I don't know. Maybe I was typing or looking down at when they did. And they had a really good, I thought we came back from commercial, and I thought it was still a commercial because they had the Pepsi truck come out and stuff and all this, but it was, they were bringing Pepsi X to the judges because Dragon was the winner and Demi had picked the winner, and it was a really good little placement segment for Pepsi X. Willie Jones versus Tate Stevens came up. They did Nobody Knows by Babyface, and Willie started out and was messing up the lyrics and messing up the words, and he just stopped singing at one point and then came back singing just any old thing. You know, it just was like, okay, I'm gonna sing something because I don't know what's gonna happen. While Tate absolutely different. Closed his eyes, started out very good, but he seemed to be not quite in his game either. I don't know if Willie kind of threw him with his nervousness and all that, but he tried to concentrate. He really did. He was bringing some good emotion by the end, so he finally got into it. And the judges said Tate hustled Willie because he picked the song basically, and Willie didn't really know it. And Willie said, oh, I think this song will be good for us. So basically Tate kind of knew the song already and kind of remembered it from past times, while Willie didn't know it at all and had to learn it like totally fresh, which is really difficult overnight. You know, and I know because for my gig, sometimes I get a song on Thursday morning and I got to learn it for Saturday, and I'm like, and I ain't even got to memorize the whole thing. You know, I just have to know the changes and stuff. I can actually look at the words. So, you know, it's really, really difficult. Arin Ray versus Normandy Hamilton, guy versus girl. They did What Makes You Beautiful by One Direction. And Normandy started out and seemed to be slightly over singing it to me. Then Arin came in and he was matching her level. He seemed to be over singing to me also. I like that they were having a good interaction and all that, but I just wasn't crazy about the way they sounded on the song. Brittany liked Arin and Simon said he was pretty good too. Demi said her heart had melted. I really thought though it was a bad song choice for both of them and that it didn't show off either of their voices or ranges. And that's just my opinion. What did you think? Before I go on, please, if you're enjoying this commentary, thumb it up, send it up, Facebook and Twitter, Twapple, and Twaddle T2, and Tumblr too. I'm feeling very silly right now and I do not know why. Jillian Jensen versus Latasha Robinson did Stay by Sugarland, and LA was trying to start some mess between them in the beginning, you know, because he was like, oh, so which one do you think are gonna outsing the other and all this good stuff. It's not exactly what he said, but kind of like that. And Latasha was like, yeah, well, I got this, and all this good stuff, giving a bunch of attitudes. So don't you know, Latasha started this out and messed up her lyrics. I mean, and then she, not only did she mess up the lyrics, she stopped singing, which you just never do, and started crying, I can't do this, I can't go on, I can't do this. Okay, girl, you just totally just messed up all of your chances after being the diva and, I got this, oh yeah, and I know I could take her and all this good stuff. Never, ever, ever go out like that. I'm sorry, just don't. So, Jillian stepped up and came in with her part and did a great job. I mean, she stepped out front, she was into the emotion, she had a good sound, and what I liked about her, Latasha messed up, she was actually trying to sing the words to her to get her back on track. And if Latasha would have been listening, been paying attention, been alert, she would have heard and maybe been able to pick up and continue. And we do this on gigs all the time, and I'll tell you, if somebody is forgetting the words, and it's an old song, maybe we've never done it forever or whatever, and they're forgetting the words, you just start singing next to them, and most of the time they're, oh, okay, so then the memory clicks back in, and if you need to sing along with them, you're off, and you pull the mic away from yourself, and you're singing right to them, basically in their ear, but just singing like you normally would be, and they're singing, then, and you know, they can pick up, and then they can get back on where they remember. This girl was not professional at all. Latasha was not professional. Jillian was professional. The younger one was professional. She had emotion and she felt for her competition. And this was her competition. You're up against each other. One of you might be going home, okay? Which is not necessarily the case. It's not really how it works. But it's possible that one of you might knock the other out. And she was still giving all this love to her competition. I really respected her for that. She did a wonderful job. If she doesn't go through again, I will be surprised. Very, very, very surprised. Latasha, if she goes through, I will definitely be surprised. That was so unprofessional of her. Freddie Combs forgot his words, and this was a whole section, and he was up against Jessie Bryant, and he also forgot his words. He started scatting, which I thought was funny and cool, actually. Nick Youngerman forgot his words. Brittany was tearing up because one other girl, I think it was Jordan, something or other, forgot her words and went off stage and was crying. As soon as she got up there, Brittany started getting teary-eyed. Oh, she's crying. That girl, she's crying. I don't like to hear her crying. So I was just like, oh Lord. I saw just a little bit of Jason Brock and I was so happy because he was on top of Titanium. Sounded excellent. I was like, you better sing. Oh my God. Again, if he doesn't make it through, I'll be very, very, very surprised. The judges are loving him, and he has a stellar voice and just performance quality. He just is bringing the heat every time. Every time I see him, he is bringing the heat. And for the final performance, they are doing it. The X Factor are really putting these two girls through the ringer. CeCe Frey versus Paige Thomas. They did Secrets by One Republic. And it's funny to me because they are roommates. X Factor actually made them roommates and are putting them head to head. And I was like, that is so messy of them, but it's so funny. Paige started this out and forgot her words. But she kept singing. She was singing something, she'd be like, no, no, or no, no, and get back in and do a little bit more. She forgot a little bit and then she'd go back in. She did not stop. I respected her for that. She kept going. She came back on the parts that she knew. And if she messed up a little bit, she came back in again with stuff that she knew. And she sounded good on the parts that she actually sang and actually knew. CeCe stepped up with fierceness. I mean, she sounded okay on this, but I wasn't blown away, and she had a good last note, but it just wasn't the level that she has been bringing so far. Simon said that they both looked exhausted and he felt bad for them. Brittany liked Paige and Simon said he liked both of them. What did you guys think? What did you think of these rounds? Do you think they stole this from the battle rounds or did they actually do this last season? Let me know. Next week, they do the cuts of the acts. They're going to cut down to the 24. They decide who is going to be on what teams and then they send them all to the judges' homes and everything else ensues. Mayhem ensues. Of course. This is Robert Anton, RobertAnton.com. I'm out. Peace. I ain't got no more to say.